All right, guys, welcome to.
Oh, Andy, do you want to mute the rest of us? Because there's like a little bit of background and then we can hear you.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, I think I got everybody. All right. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Coming at you from a which is so rare in my life to get out of the house. But I am taking Tuesdays as my work day, which I want to encourage all of you moms, if that is possible, to tell your husband that you need a certain day or a certain chunk of your time to really focus on your business. Just ask. I should have asked him years ago. But tonight we're going to talk about inviting. But before we get into our topic for the night, give me a thumbs up if all of you can hear me okay, because I'm not used to talking from a place like this. Thank you. I wanted to start off with some recognition. So, who am I going to talk about? Tonight I want to shout out to Tara, who is sitting across the table from me holding my baby, because she is our newest Success Club 5 All-Star as of today, this month. I'm so excited for her. That means that she has helped at least 3 people every single month since she signed up last July. So starting her first month as a coach, she signed up on July 24th or 28th. Either the 24th or the 28th, we cannot remember. Either way, she hit Success Club that month and every month since. So she is a Success Club 12 All-Star. Brittany, I hate to put you on the spot. We need to chat about this, but do you have?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I want to give a special shout out. Shannon and Megan are actually hosting their very first free group ever, and they're also on this call with us tonight. And I'm really excited for them because they went through the New Coach Bootcamp last month, and then they teamed up with 2 of the other girls in our New Coach Bootcamp, and they're running their own like 7-day free group, and I'm in it, and they're getting so much engagement, which, as we all know, is like touch and go. Like sometimes it's silent in those free groups, and they're doing such a great job. And then also for Jen, who is like officially full term in her pregnancy and is just like going like all in now that she's on maternity leave into like doing power hours, hosting free groups, like signing new coaches. And so those are just a couple of the shout outs that I wanted to give today.
Rad. I love it. Okay. So tonight we are going to talk about inviting. I know it's like my favorite topic and everybody else probably does not like it, but it's important, you guys. I have been trying to soak up as much as I can from coaches who are doing this better than us. And overwhelmingly, you might think as you follow some of these top coaches, if you follow top coaches, that they're just attracting everybody to their social media, right? And that, could you turn your volume off? Sorry, I can just hear myself echoing. I'm sorry. That, you know, their social media is just so on point that they can just make a post and fill their challenge groups and fill their teams, and then all of their coaches, you know, do all the things. But really, that's not the truth of it. And I know that because I've been talking to them and I've been asking them in these groups, what are you doing? And what they keep saying is inviting. They're having a lot of conversations behind the scenes. So you might see all of this pretty social media, but behind the scenes, they're still doing the things. And what I'm talking about is just getting down and dirty with asking people, do you want to do this with me? And specifically what a lot of them are inviting straight to is this coaching opportunity, which is something that takes me out of my comfort zone because I have always led with the fitness, because that is what brought me into this. I wanted nothing to do with this business. But the fitness, the products, the programs, the challenge groups changed my life. And so I've always led with that. But what I've been doing lately, I've completely flipped on its head what I used to do, because when I had my 4th baby, things just got different. The way that I had to work had to adapt to my new schedule as a mom of 4. So I've been working so much from my phone to invite. In terms of tracking, you don't need to overcomplicate it. I literally go through my posts every single day, and I'm inviting the people who are looking at my social media first. That's who I go to first. Because in my opinion, if they're watching me, I know that I'm sharing my journey in some way every single day, whether it's something about my workout, whether it's something about my nutrition, or whether it's something about my coaching business. So I feel very passionately that if somebody is watching me on social media and even goes the extra length to give me a like or a heart or a comment, that's an open door for me to say, hey, do you want to do this with me? And I think for a lot of people, it's very normal to have that thought in the back of your mind that you're going to be pushy to somebody, or that you're going to, turn them off to this idea, and maybe then they'll never come around, or that, you're just trying to sell them something, but you're not. What you're offering them is life-giving, like we always say every single week. So if you come to inviting from the mindset that you might send out 20 invites in one day, and 19 of those people might ignore you or tell you no thank you, but that one person who says yes will thank you and will be so full of gratitude for what you invited them to, it makes it all worth it. And those 20 invites don't have to take a long time, and you don't have to worry about the 19 who said no thank you, because a lot of them down the road will turn into thank yous. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother call about follow-up, so I won't go there. But all of that to say, it really comes from when you're inviting, it all needs to come from your mindset and from your heart. I've watched people do this business and lead with just wanting to make a sale, and it never works. But if you lead with, do this with me, be on the journey with me, it is so powerful. I think I said this last week, but as I am now working on the same 30 pounds again, I have it knocked down to, I've got like 15, 14, depending on the day, pounds to go. I very boldly put it out there that you can join me or you can watch me. And that's scary, and it makes me kind of feel a little bit sick every time I say it on my Insta stories, but I mean it to my core because I know that this works. So when I sit down to invite every day, that's the mindset that I have is, you're watching me, join me. So to get specific, when I'm going through my Facebook posts, I will look at who liked my post first, and I will simply send them a message. And if they liked a post that was something to do specifically with my fitness or my business or nutrition, I will say, thank you so much for liking my post. And then I lead into whatever group I have coming up next. So lately it's been, I'm super excited to start this brand new program on Monday. The workouts are only 4 days a week, and the nutrition plan even has a cheat meal worked in. Is it something that you would want to do with me? That's something that I would say to Tara, standing across the table right now. It's pretty much what I said to her a year ago. Do you want to do this with me? It's not scary. It's not in your face. It's just me saying, hey, do this with me. And then I'll say, let me know either way. And that is something that I started saying just a few months ago that's really helped me get some sort of response, so that I have something to go off. If they say no, at least to me, I'd rather get a no than just get ignored, because most of the time a no has a little message attached to it. No, because right now we're actually going on vacation next week and I just can't commit right now. Or no, because my kids are all out of school right now and I just can't take on another thing. Or no, because we really just don't have the money right now. That gives me something to talk to them back about. And most of the time, that doesn't mean that it turns right back around to them saying yes. But those are the best follow-ups later, because I already know a little tidbit about what they are, whatever their objection is. So then I move on to the people who have commented. They've commented, they're even a little bit more invested in whatever I'm talking about. So it's very simple, again, to say thanks so much for commenting on my photo, and I'll say a little, like one sentence about whatever it had to do with, even if it's just a post about my kids that has nothing to do with anything, because I live and breathe this into my daily life. It's very easy to bridge that connection to what I do. I will simply say, thank you so much for commenting on that photo of my crazy 2-year-old. I'll say another little snippet about it, depending on whatever the post was. And I'll say, not sure if you've seen my other posts about my Busy Mama Bootcamp or about this new workout program I'm about to start. But I wanted to see if you'd be interested in doing it with me. Very simple, a couple sentences straight to the point. Because you guys, rewind a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I led with starting conversations first before I would get to the invite. And I think that a lot of times that seemed way more salesy than just getting to the point. A lot of you have started Instagram, new Instagram pages or new Facebook pages for your specific businesses with fit tied into your name. So they already know that you're into fitness. They already know that you're doing something that has to do with health and wellness. So for you to personally invite them to that is not weird. It would be weird if you didn't invite them, in my opinion, because then you're just keeping all of this to yourself. So when I'm doing that, it ranges in the amount of numbers of people that I'm inviting every day, to be honest. And I used to have a certain number of people that I would try to reach out to every single day. Like I would shoot for sending 10 invites every single day or whatever it was. And now I'm just focusing on who is interacting with me. And yes, I still want to make sure I'm inviting at least 10 people a day, but I'm not so fixated on the number anymore, because honestly, some days it's 10 people and some days it's 30 people. You know, some days I have a post that went really well and there's all of these new eyeballs on my page, on my Instagram or whatever. And so I have all these new people to invite. And then other days, you know, maybe my post didn't go so well. I don't have as many people, and that's okay. But the point is that I'm being consistent every single day in inviting these people. So you can use this same vibe with Instagram. You know, every day I'm looking at who's watching my stories. If somebody's watching my stories, they're peering into what I'm doing. So they see me working out every day. They see me talking about my business every day. They see me doing crazy shenanigans with my kids every day. So I feel like that's an open door to say, hey, you know, not sure if you caught my story about my workout this morning, but I've got this new program I'm going to be starting Monday, and I just want to know if it's something you'd want to do. Let me know either way. Or in same idea with my posts. You know, thank you so much for the love on my posts. I appreciate it so much. Same thing, right? Going into that. So then what I do when somebody responds in any way, whether it's a no and not right now, you know, please send me more info, whatever it is, I'm writing their name down on my phone in the notes, because I barely have one hand available, let alone two, to be on my computer. And it has actually been so much easier for me to track this way than what I was doing before, to be honest. I'm literally just writing their name down with a little emoji code that I made up, so you can make up your own emoji code for whatever we were at. And because all of your conversation is saved either in the DM on your Instagram or in Facebook Messenger, or even email if you're using email to talk to people, I don't have to write a bunch of crazy notes about what we talked about. I can just put a little emoji, you know, that represents 2E Mindset, or represents Look For, represents coaching, or whatever, so that I can go back and follow up with that person. Because a lot of times people are saying, yes, please send me more info. And once I do, a lot of times that's when the conversation drops. But when I go back the following week and look at, okay, who wanted more info about my Look For group that's going to start Monday, I can very quickly go back to those people, see where we fell off in the conversation, and then say, and this is what has been helping me get people to finally say yes, is, hey, I am putting the final touches on my challenge group right now. I would love for you to join us. Is this something that you're still looking to do? I only have a couple spots left, and I would love for you to join us. And a lot of times that is where people are like, yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't respond to your last message. Sometimes they want more info again, and it gives me an opportunity to then voice memo them. Voice memoing, you guys, works wonders, because for somebody to hear your voice and hear your passion and know that you're not just copying and pasting some script to them, but you're actually another human being talking to them, it really helps bridge that gap from somebody just being like, oh, you know, this is just somebody else on the internet who I don't know, to them actually having a personal connection to you and hearing your voice and hearing your excitement about whatever it is you're going to do. And again, a lot of times I only have one hand. So boom, I can hold down that button, send my little message really quick, and then there you go. I hope that a lot of this is helpful. I want to pause for just a sec, because I know that was a lot of info, and see if anybody has any questions for me or comments.
No. I have a question. So when you, so do you think, are there times where it's the first time that someone's ever seen one of your posts because they found you through a hashtag or on your fitness page? And even then, like, it's not, are you, even if they're brand new, are you still just sending them the same message? Or do you do something different if you realize that there's someone like brand new?
That is a really great question. So when I notice somebody new, I will go to their page first, and for a couple of days, I will interact with them on their page before I send them a message. And then if I notice that they're still watching my stories after a couple of days, then I'll invite them. Because yeah, I mean, you especially because right now I'm trying to work on my Instagram, so I'm following a lot of new people based on hashtags that represent my brand and who I'm trying to attract. I don't want them to follow me and then automatically get a message and be like, dude, this girl is too much. So yes, but I will say I'm not spending as much time trying to have that back and forth conversation just to get to the invite anymore. And some of you might disagree with me on that. I know that we had our good friend just a couple weeks ago, Marie, talking about how that feels to be on the other end of that message. And I totally get her point of view. And in fact, I've talked to a couple of you about this. I get that. I totally see it. But my truth, and this is me, guys, so you have to figure out what is, where you fall in this. But my truth is that, like I said, if I invite 20 people and only one of them says yes, but that one person's life is changed from this, like, I believe in that. I don't just say that as some sort of weird Beachbody mumbo jumbo. That was me. So that's why I'm not afraid to send those messages. But at the same time, you do want to be careful and at least, follow, comment, to show some interest in that person before you just jump to the invite. But personally, I'm not spending the time to actually message them and start a conversation. I'm just getting to the invite. Once they get a message from me, it's going to be an invite, and I'm cool with it. I know that is debatable for some, but that's what's been working for me, honestly. And I think a lot of it ties back to what are people seeing on your social media? Like, they're not going to be shocked. I don't think they'd be shocked to get a message from me saying, hey, do you want to be in my boot camp, when every single day they're seeing me work out. But if you're not talking about your workouts and you're not talking about your nutrition, you're not talking about your business, then it would be weird for them to get a message like that. Thank you.
I know for me that I'm the same way, and I know I shared this a couple weeks ago too. Like, I don't start conversations and then come in with an invite. Like, I just directly invite people. But I do really like your wording, just in terms of literally just saying, do you want to do this with me? Do you want to do it together? I think that I really like that.
Thank you. I think that it just makes it easy to talk about, whatever you're doing. You're okay. Sorry, girls. I think it just makes it easy to talk about it that way. Every time I sit down to make an invite, I'm not copying and pasting what I've been saying for the last 6 months. Typically, I go to somebody's page, or based on the flow that I just explained, I message them. And whatever it is that night that I want to say, that's what I say. And that's my invite of the night, because it's going to change week to week if you use this system. Because I'm not always going to be starting with 4 on Monday, but this week I am. So that's what I'm saying. Hey, do you want to do this with me? And I'm also inviting every day on my Insta stories. So if you're doing that on your stories and then you're inviting people personally through Messenger, it's not going to be weird that they're getting a message, if that makes sense. Is this making sense? Are you guys dude, no?
No, it's making sense to me.
Okay.
I have kind of a random question, and it goes back to what Marie was talking about, I guess, 2 weeks ago. Because a lot of people no longer are saying in their post, Beachbody and the program name. So when you're going to invite, are you saying Beachbody? Because I've had a couple of people message me on Instagram asking me what I'm doing. And then when I tell them the program, they're like, oh, I didn't know you did Beachbody. And so it kind of feels like if they knew, they'd be more I've had people tell me in real life that they had no idea that I was a Beachbody coach, because we never say it. So I guess I'm struggling with this whole never say it, but then when do you say it?
That's a good question. When somebody asks me what I'm doing, even in a message thread or even in a comment thread, I'm more quick to just say what I'm doing, because I've been also paying attention to a lot of people saying that if they, if somebody asks on their page, like if you caught the National Wake Up Call from last week, Katrina, I can't think of her last name, she was awesome, but she made a really good point. If somebody says on your social media, hey, what program are you doing? And you start this whole thread on your social media that it's looked for, and people are commenting back and forth, asking things about it, it's just blowing up your social media, and then you can individually reach out to those people so that they don't go then buy it on Amazon or from a different coach or whatever, which is part of why we do curiosity marketing. When somebody private messages me, I automatically say what it is. When I'm inviting them, though, I don't say like, hey, do you want to do Lift 4 with me? So a lot of times people don't know what it is. But I do have people, after I've described what the workout is, say, is this Beachbody? Is this Beachbody on demand? And things like that. I do think, Mary Kate, that there's not, I think it's a gray area, to be honest. I don't know if Brittany wants to chime in, but I don't think there's a perfect way to go about that. And in fact, a lot of times when I'm writing posts or talking to people, I'm questioning in my own head which way I want to go with it, because you want people to know that you have something to offer, but always remember that you are the brand, and as you're attracting people, you're attracting them to you, because anybody can go online and get Beachbody. So I think just make your best judgment case by case would be my answer. Keep it curious, but there is a time and a place to say it.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of it is just you personally. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in how often do we say something? Do we say something? Do we not say something? When I think even more important than that is, do people understand why you're doing it? And do people understand why you chose this? And do people understand why you're hosting these groups and why you're inviting people into it? And, I think that's more important than like worrying about how many times you've mentioned Beachbody on your Instagram, right? And so I do think that there's value in some curiosity marketing, just because the pros of that are that if you mention it just straight up, sometimes they can just go Google it. And I've had people do that before, and then they buy it, and then they come back to me and say like, oh, thank you so much for telling me about like sharing about your program. I went online and I bought it, and it's like, oh wait, hold on. Can we talk about it? But I think so maybe if you want to mention that you are a Beachbody coach that like specifically or whatever, then I think just in those posts, you should just be explaining like why you chose this and what they get by having you be their coach as opposed to someone else, or as opposed to just going to the website. I think that's more of like creating like this package as opposed to just like throwing in there, because I don't know that it really adds a lot of value. Like if random people see you in person and they didn't realize you were a Beachbody coach, to me, I think either they're not watching your story consistently, because if you're consistently sharing that you host these groups and that you're an online health and fitness coach and that it's likely because of all of the sponsored ads everyone's seeing in all of their news feeds that they like can pinpoint that you're probably a Beachbody coach, because we're the only ones that offer fitness, nutrition, and support, as opposed to just shakes or just, if someone's just doing like a tone it up, like doing some fun workouts but aren't a coach or whatever. So that's what I would say. I think that more importantly than us getting caught up in what we're saying, what we're not saying, I would just encourage all of us to just figure out like why are we saying it, and like why did we choose this, and what it's doing for us, what it can do for other people. And any time that it seems like it might come off like sneaky, like if someone comments, what program is this? And you're going to say like, oh, I'll message you. To me, it just sometimes it could be appropriate, or it might feel like you just don't want to tell the world what you're doing, So I think just based on the person that you're talking to, you can feel that out. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Just a second. Siri, just all of a sudden, number one, I have Siri set up with like the British accent, but like I just said, I don't know. And she was like, okay, it's okay that you don't know. Thank you, Siri, for that affirmation. But I was going to say, like, what about Tara, like Miss Success Club All-Star? Like, I'm sure, what do you think about, like, what are you saying are you saying Beachbody, or are you saying specifically, the programs and stuff?
Sorry, guys, I couldn't hear because I have my volume turned down. so that it's not like feeding off of Andy's computer. So I'm like, oh, I think I heard my name. Is she talking to me? So your question was if I have any tips on like Success Club and Curiosity Mart?
How often would you say the words, Beachbody or Live For, whatever specifically on social media or in messaging? How often do you leave curious?
Yeah, I would say that in the beginning I didn't know which way to go, and I was saying I was like, I think I even posted like a Beachbody on demand, like actual, like buy here, like on my like Facebook page. But I just basically leave out, like Andy was saying, I don't say lift for. I just say a lot of like, I'm loving this new lifting program, or I talk about To Be Mindset. I don't say To Be Mindset. I talk about like if you have trouble with nutrition and, wanting to be free from, containers or counting or measuring, this program is great because it teaches you more about like how to plate your food. And I kind of talk about it that way without necessarily saying what it is, just because I feel like Andy said, like has said before, like they can easily, if they're not close to you, they'll probably just Google it. And then that's, you don't necessarily want them. You want them to be attracted to you and want, it to come from you. So I don't ever really say necessarily. But I've seen coaches do both. I've seen coaches like that are, top 10 coaches that literally say exactly what it is. They have their shaker cup, they have their like energized bottle in the front of their Insta story. So I think it could work both ways depending on like your style.
I think that's a good point. Depending on your style is a good way to put it, really. And just be careful with, I don't know what I was going to say on that last note. Really good question, Mary Kate. That's actually been something that I've been thinking about too, and just kind of playing around with it, And if you're having people question, like say, oh, I didn't even know you were a Beachbody coach, I think that could be interpreted two ways. Maybe that means you're doing a really good job showcasing that you do have something to offer. Or maybe you need to talk about the fact that you are a coach. You can say coach, health and fitness coach without saying Beachbody coach. And I'm just calling you out because I know I can. Mary Kate. All right. Well, for love of inviting, I just really want to encourage you girls to do it. Like I said, I have always loved gleaning from people who are doing this better than me. And I've really, ever since Delaney was born, I've tapped back into doing that because I'll be completely honest. I went through a few months where it was paralyzing me to watch people who were doing this better than me. And I got in that habit of playing the comparison game. And I switched my mindset and I'm back to learning from them because they're obviously doing it better than me. And what I keep hearing is that they are having a lot of conversations behind the scenes. And I'm not just talking about once they got there, once they had a massive team and once they had massive challenge groups, what they did to get there was a lot of conversations with a lot of people. So to get there, that's what we all need to do as a team. And to stay there, that's what we all need to do as a team, is to help a lot of people. Think about the person that you could potentially reach out to tonight that will be your thank you next week, that will be like, oh my goodness, I just lost 3 pounds on To Be Mindset in 2 days. Thank you so much. This really changed my life, or whatever it is.
I'll add to that just by saying that I have been following some of the top 10 coaches, and one of the things that is like the common thread in all of their stories is that they didn't start off with a huge following. Like some of them didn't even have Instagram accounts at all and had like 200 followers on Facebook. So they're all like us. Like there's nothing different about them. There's nothing that they have that we don't have. Like we all have the same potential to be 15-star diamonds. We all have it in us to be exactly what we want to be. We just have to, hit the ground running and be consistent. That's what they all say, is just to be consistent every day with doing the things, and it will come. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? It doesn't have to be just on inviting, but anything from this week that you have questions about or about inviting, or anything that maybe you've been doing in inviting that works well. You are more than welcome.
I have a question. Is there another like coach group at the end of the month? I'm just trying to structure my month. Is
in advance as possible?
Oh, in a sneak peek, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, I posted a graphic like a couple weeks ago with the schedule for this month and for next month, and the coach sneak peek is on there. So I'll find it for you and I'll tag you in it, because we do have that. But I love that you're already thinking about that.
Ain't nobody got time, okay?
Just giving birth and signing coaches. If you're wondering what Jen's up to this month. Yeah, I will find that for you and I will tag it. One thing I would also say too, and I love what Tara was saying, just like that we all have the power to be like 15-star diamonds, is that I think sometimes we can get caught up in like being self-conscious about what we're inviting to. And I can tell you that something that will give you so much confidence is if you truly commit to a program, if you truly commit to 2B mindset, because as you start to see and feel results, you are going to have so much more confidence when you're inviting people to join you, because you're going to feel like you're not a fraud. You're going to feel like you know what they're going to get into. You're going to be able to answer their questions because you have personal experience. They can see your pictures and know that you're getting results. And I can tell you that that's one thing for me really helps just give me more confidence when I'm inviting. And then also making sure that you take pride in your challenge groups, because that's another thing for me, is that I take a lot of pride in the graphics that I create, in the themes that I create, and I spend all this time on creating the content for the challenge group. So when I'm inviting someone into it, like I have so much confidence doing that, because I know that they're going to have such an amazing month, because I know how great the content is, which totally sounds like I'm just pumping myself up. But it's just, I know like how much, it's not like the challenge group templates are perfect, but I just know how much time and heart I put into it. So I know what they're going to get out of it. So I know not only do I have the confidence that comes with like being able to show and feel that I'm getting results doing this, but then two, that when they come into these challenge groups, like they're going to feel like I'm hugging them. Like that's what I want them to feel like, that my graphics feel like I've been waiting for them to join us, that they have this like special place that's like has this special theme and this special feel, and that they feel like we've really prepared this place for them and we're delivering on the promise to show up for them. And I'm telling you that those couple things, like for me, give me so much more confidence when I'm inviting people into it, because like I feel so confident about what I'm inviting them into.
Amen to that.
But what about, so Shannon, is she still on here?
Yep.
Oh, there she is. It's like everyone's so tiny. Shannon is a brand new coach. She also like signed up with like 3 days left in the month, hit Success Club. This is her first full month as a coach, hit Success Club again. So Shannon, what about you as a brand new coach? Like, how are you inviting people? I know you've been sharing your story consistently, but then when you're actually having conversations with people, like what do those conversations look like?
Well, to be honest, I get the most feedback like on my before, and I don't want to say after, but my now pictures. Yeah, my progress pictures. I get the most comments and likes on those. So I kind of go off of that as far as inviting people. But really, I have just been sending out mass invites, because I figure that's like, while I've been learning, that's just like the easiest way to do it, is I just like go down my friends list and like I have my template and like I just copy and paste, and just like inviting people, please join me. I mean, it's nothing super complicated or not a whole lot of detail, but that at least, is this something that you would be interested in? And I've actually gotten so many people that way to start up a conversation with me about it. And I think so much of it too is just my story and me being open from the get-go. Like I've always been an open book on social media. So I think that people following my story and just seeing the difference in me, not only physically, but my mindset and, how I'm so much more positive than I was before, like my posts were so sad. So sad just because of my personal experiences that I went through. But now seeing like this transformation in me really has like intrigued people and wanting to know more. So I think just my story has been awesome for me to start up. So I really don't have any great advice on that, unfortunately. It's just
No, that's perfect advice, because even as a brand new coach, like the key to your success has been, one, that you are digging in and getting results, that you're sharing consistently, and that you're mass inviting people, which is the same as the recipe to success for like the top 10 coaches, you know? So like, I think what you're doing is amazing. So that is really helpful. Does anyone else like feel like, oh, what were you going to say, Andy?
That I love every word that Shannon just said.
Yes. All of her words and her face. We just love everything about her. But you guys, does anyone else do you have any like fears about inviting? Do you like, do you feel like you need help? Like, would you like some of us to like look at what you're saying in your invites? Like, is there something else, if you're not doing it now, that you feel like could be, just really helpful, or is it just a matter of you realizing that maybe it's just you have to take the leap, and even if it's scary, you just start doing it?
I'm not having any problem with inviting, but I'm getting a little concerned because I feel like my warm market is kind of dwindling, and I still have a lot of people that I can follow up with in the future, and I have my list, but I'm not sure how to build my cold market other than just, again, mass invite, like adding friends of friends. And, you know, like I've been adding mutual friends, and I mean, I don't know what else. Is there any advice on that? Like how to build your cold market?
Yes. So I think we should probably, Andy, we can make a note to do a whole call on this very topic. But one thing, and this is great because you and I can even like start doing this together, because I really need to actually dig in and do this. But one would be if you started a fitness Facebook page. So, I mean, continue friending friends of friends on your personal page, friend all of your husband's friends. But then you can start a Facebook fitness page. And that's another way that you're going to be able to reach just all of these people who aren't anywhere in your circle. Which is how some of us all met. Or even on Instagram, I'm starting to use hashtags. Like, so more people can find you, and you can find other people who are relevant to like what we call like your brand, like the things that you care about that help make you, you, and the women who you want to connect with. And so, I mean, we can do a full call on like what that looks like and how to start doing that. And we have some great resources and Facebook groups that we've hosted in the past that have great content in terms of how to do that and start growing those cold markets. But that's a great question. But I would say that there's hope. There are plenty of people out there who need our help, and we can help you get on the right track in terms of reaching out to those cold markets.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And one more quick thing before we wrap it up tonight is I always like to have a place for those people who are interested, and after I tackle the objection, they're still like, but you know, if it were free, or if it was this, or if it was that, I like to have a landing place for that. So I've revamped what I do, and I know that in Your Best Rad Life, you guys have the tribe, so it's very similar, if not the same idea. But if you saw me post in Faithfully Fit just this week, I opened up a brand new Facebook group, and I just want to say real quick what it's for, because it's not just for me. It's called Inspire and Empower. And if you have somebody who gives you kickback, but they might want to do something, you know, they need to see some behind the scenes before they buy the cow. That's not even the right term, but you know what I mean.
And so they want the milk for free.
It's not free, not buying the cow yet. They need to be in our vibe to get it and be like, I need that shake in my life, and I need those workouts, blah, blah, blah. They can be in that group. It's also for people who maybe you're in between challenge groups and they still need a place, and they're like texting you because they need to check in somewhere. That's a place they can go. So graduate challengers, coaches, future customers, that's what that group is for. So anybody who wants to be in it, be in it. It is open for business. I set it as closed though, just so that I can monitor who comes in and make sure we don't get any weirdos. And for the privacy of the people in there, so that they know their posts aren't just out there floundering. But that has always been something that's always helped me bridge the gap between the invite and the yes, is giving them a little behind the scenes look into what we do. And it's very simple. If you're running a challenge group and you have those people in there, you can, you know, post your check-in in Inspire and Empower and in your challenge group, so they're seeing you. Boom, boom, boom. Very cool. All right. I would love to take a picture Miss Kimberly, it is her birthday. For those of you who don't know, that is why she has the night off. So let me see if I can do my camera skills as well as she does. Everybody smile. I think I got your neck.
Here, it's okay. I'm just gonna, everyone smile and I'll do just like a screen grab of this.
How do you do that?
I don't know how Kim does it. We can have her do a little tutorial, but I know for me, if I push
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, I push 4. And that's why it doesn't work. Okay, are we ready? Smile. Oh my gosh, Jen, you're a genius. Let's do one more.
Don't leave these things up to me.
Okay, perfect. I'll just post this in our team pages. You guys, thank you so much for everyone who hopped on with us. We know that it's 45 minutes of your life, and we appreciate that you guys take the time to hang out with us. And you'll see we're also going to be doing at least once a month, having you guys, different coaches on our team, host a call. So just know that you might be hearing from us because we want to hear from you guys and what you're doing also. And we think that you guys are great. Okay. All right. Bye.